When I was about 13, I had spent the night over at my friend Dan's house. And actually that was like one of my first all-nighters. We actually didn't go to sleep that night. It was amazing. Middle school, you know, drinking soda, pizza, all that. We were gonna do his older brother's paper route that morning. So we got up at 4 in the morning. The papers were on the front step and we had to organize them. We put the little things, put the papers in them. Traditionally, paper routes are very iconic of a boy kind of going through the process of growing up and becoming a young man. It's usually, you know, his first job or something like that. But I remember doing it and honestly being afraid of, you know, placing the newspaper on the front step, and what if someone comes to the door and sees me? Like, I'm gonna have to interact with them. Barking dogs at 6:30 in the mornings, you know, it's coming out of nowhere is kind of scary. There was one part of that event where some kids on their bikes were riding down the street and they saw my friend and I, and they're like, "Oh, paper boy, paper boy," just like youthful harassment. But I was like scared. I'm like, oh, what if they beat us up and take our newspapers? Like, that was a legitimate fear I had in my 7th grade way of thinking. As some of you may know, I absolutely love Jones Soda. It's a company that makes soda independent, and I just really like the soda itself, but also what the company stands for and just the mentality. And for me, that soda represents summer. It represents like youthfulness. One thing that made Jones Soda very special to me was the fact that I actually for a while couldn't get it in my hometown. The only time I could get it was over on the west side of the state by Seattle, where the company was actually based, is where I'd have to go to get it. So over summer vacations, going over camping there, that's when and where I would get it. And so it was very iconic to me and stuck out to me as something that meant vacation and just being young. And then of course I was able to get it. I found a few places in my hometown that actually did have it, and it just meant a lot to me. So when I moved to Michigan to go to school over here, I knew that I was kind of leaving a lot of things behind. I was entering into my first stages of adulthood, leaving behind things such as Jones Soda. So about the 2nd week of school, I'm sitting with my classmates in our school's theater, and I see my friend Colin come up and he's holding a Jones Soda. And I freaked out. Like, I could not understand how he had a Jones Soda. And he's like, "Oh, I knew you'd be excited." And I was like, "How did you have that?" And the kid in front of me says, "Dude, Jones Soda is everywhere." And to me, it like devalued something that I held very dear to me. And yes, I know it sounds really weird, but it was something that kind of changed my view of being young. I know it sounds kind of weird, but almost metaphorically, it was a way showing me that I wasn't a kid anymore, and I had to grow up in certain ways that I didn't necessarily want to. And to be honest, I had sort of a breakdown of some sorts. I don't really know what, but it was the whole thing of being on my own for the first time, being away from my friends and my parents, of course, family. And what I thought I was leaving behind was just something that was common to man. Like, it didn't matter to everyone else. And so it was taking certain things of my youth and just kind of throwing them out the window. So mentally I had to throw that out the window. Like, I couldn't be a kid anymore. I couldn't have that anymore. It was just something that was normal. And now, maybe I was an adult. So yes, this is the sappy story of a guy who has gone through some of the processes and is kind of an adult, but is still somewhat of a kid, but still questions things about what it all means. And even I don't know. Which is good, right? It's a good thing. Of course, I think way too deep into these things. That's why I make a video about it. Oh, look at those people trying to get through the snow. Oh, he's wearing shorts. Oh. It's winter, guys. Pray for me, please. Thank you.